Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Autodromo Enzo e Dino Ferrari, also known to you as me as Imola. My name is Chaz Draycott and welcome to Clio Cup 2022. This is the 5th and 6th rounds of the championship, the third weekend in this wonderful, wonderful place. And we have had a hell of a season so far. It's going by very, very quickly indeed. But we've had great races at Nogaro and at Jarama in Spain, and in 3 weekends, in as little as 4 weeks actually, we're going to get these 2 races underway very, very soon. We've already had qualifying today. That happened just before 1 p.m. this afternoon. It's been quite an interesting day actually for Clio Cup. Usually in our weekends we have qualifying very early in the morning and then the race just after lunchtime usually. But today it's a very different kettle of fish, as we say in the UK. It's currently 7:20 local time, and it's still daylight thanks to the wonders of summertime. And to be honest, it feels a bit strange to be commentating this late in the day, but it's great because it's meant that all the teams and all the drivers have had a long day of just being able to do the little bits that they need to do. You know, it's not just the necessary tiny little pieces of, well, not necessarily tiny pieces actually, the sort of necessary big jobs of getting the cars ready in a big rush. You know, they've not been up against it time-wise. They've had a lot of time to just get things sorted, and it's been great because the paddock's been a bit more relaxed. Everybody's enjoying themselves, and it's been a hell of a lot of fun so far. I was just saying to our producer and our director there, it's not quite as hot as last year. It was 38 degrees on the Saturday, so thankfully, it's not that hot this year. Here's your grid, though. David Pouchetti takes his 2nd pole position of the season. He's alongside Marc Guillot, a man that's won 1 race but has 4 podium finishes. 3rd place is Jerzy Spinkovic, the head of the Challengers Cup at the moment. Fantastic performance by Jerzy in that one. Nicolas Milon, 12-time champion of Clio Cup, is currently 4th. He's not won a race yet this season, so keep an eye on him in the number 1. Anthony Girardot, amazing performance at Jarama. He put it on pole in both races and won both races on his debut this season. He's alongside Gabriele Torelli on row 3. Giacomo Trebbi is next up in the Challengers Cup alongside Cosimo Papi. It's both of those guys' first weekend out this season, and they line up on row 4. Behind them, in 9th place, is Guillaume Mayo. He lines up alongside Felice Gelmini. It's great to have Felice back with us in the championship. He's a star in TCR as well, and it is an absolute joy, it must be said. Lorenzo Nicoli is 11th in car 10 alongside his teammate, William Mazzetti. Those two both racing for Progetto E20 Motorsport. Then it's Yuso Pantia. He's in a new car this weekend, and it's a bright orange one, so you will not miss him. He's got Nicolas Abea alongside him on row 7. Mathieu Lanapoudon is lining up in 15th. He wasn't happy with his qualifying performance, told me that there was a lot of traffic and it was very difficult to get around everyone. He's alongside his teammate Yerali Ospanov, who is also making his debut this season. It's great to see the Kazakhstani driver back on the grid. Next up is Damiano Pouchetti in 17th. He's alongside the fastest driver in qualifying from Gentleman Drivers, which is René Steenmetz. Thomas Pekka, another guy that I've been really happy to see once again in the paddock, the Czech driver, starting 19th, with Mariano Alonso in 20th. Nikola Milkovic, who is the Slovenian driver, starts in 21st. He's alongside Christian Ricciarini. And then we have Sandro Subek, Austrian driver, really, really promising actually, in 23rd. Another bright yellow car to rival that of Marc Guillot. He's alongside Horn in 24th position. We still carry on from there though. Andrea Argenti, wonderfully flamboyant Italian driver. He starts 25th alongside the Spanish Alex Lauth. Mattia Lanciolotti is alongside Stefan Polderman, the gentleman driver, on row 14. Then it's Jacopo Chimenez alongside Alessio Alcidi on row 15. Then we have the other Lanciolotti, Alex Lanciolotti, in 31st alongside Vittorio Zadotti. He starts 32nd. Yep, there's still more. Due is 33rd alongside Andrea Cordini. Sandro Catini is 35th, with Michel Fay joining him on row 18. Danielle Pasquale, another debutant this weekend, is alongside Francesco Gianalberto Coldani, and I'm surprised he got that right on the first attempt. He starts 38th, ahead of Eduardo Curioni and Chen Han Lin, who actually qualified 34th, but has had a 6th place grid penalty after some antics at Jarama. And behind them, we actually have Luciano Gioia in 41st, Gabriel Alonso 42nd, and Quinto Stefana at the back of the grid. So 43 cars here this weekend in Clio Cup. We have Clio Cup Italy and Clio Cup Europe championships racing this weekend. The drivers can basically choose which ones they want to compete in over the season. We have the 4 different groups. we have Clio Cup France, Clio Cup Italy, Clio Cup Spain, and Clio Cup Europe. Now, the drivers can compete in as many as 2 of those individual championships. And it's great to see the spread of them. There is car 2, P2 at the moment, the very bright yellow Marc Guillot, a wonderful bloke is Marc. He is always battling with David Pouget, and last season I made a lot of jokes about, no, not the yellow one, it's the white and yellow one, or vice versa. And they're back on the front row of the grid together. There's third place Jerzy Spinkovic, and there is Karol Dabski of Unique Racing as well. They're a great bunch, Unique Racing. I do spend a lot of my time with them at the circuit. A thumbs up there from Jerzy. He's looking for some good points here. He's got 3 cars between him and his next challenger, funnily enough, in the Challengers Cup, which is Giacomo Trebbi. He starts 7th on the grid. So Jerzy, maybe a bit of breathing room there to be able to have a fight. And there is, well, Mr. GOAT, it must be said, the greatest of all time. Nicolas Milan, so many championships, so many wins under his name. He is an absolute superstar of Clio Racing, and of course, the team leader of Milan competition. They have 5 cars here this weekend, as far as I know, or at least as far as I've counted. They usually do have quite a lot of cars in their awning. They've actually got 6 cars listed for this weekend. Yerli Ospidov, Quinto Stefano, Nicolas Milan, Mathieu Lanapoudon, Anthony Girardo and Marc Guillot. And there is Mr. Girardo, car 5, P5. They're quite good at that, aren't they? He lines up alongside Gabriele Torelli on the 3rd row of the grid, who I imagine, based on what we've seen there, we will see in a second. There is Thomas Pekka. I told you the car was bright orange and you're not going to miss it. Certainly a good-looking machine as well, with the Czech flag on the roof. Jusso Pantia basically running in the same car, but with the Finnish flag on the roof. And as mentioned, there is Gabriele Torelli. It was wonderful to see Gabriele again. He's a real star. He's racing in, I don't remember the actual name of the championship, but I think it's basically electric smart cars that he races in Italy. They are fantastic little machines. He said they're very argy-bargy, and it really prepares you for Clio racing, because let's face it, we do get a bit of contact here in Clios, but these cars are sturdy little machines. They're very strong, and they're very rigid, and a lot of contact here is not really a problem for all the drivers. You saw a massive grid that we have there, looking very good indeed. There is Giacomo Trebbi, starting in car 116 in 7th position. A number that is very often run by Ash Sutton in the British Touring Car Championship back in the UK. But after winning the championship a couple of times recently, he tends to run number 1 now with pride. But still, that is where a lot of us in the UK would know that number from. And there is one of the PMA cars. That is the number 43 car of Damiano Pouchetti, with one of their team members there, just talking him through what's going to be happening at the start of this race. He's going to tell him the lights will go out and then you've got to floor it, basically. But it's going to be a very busy run down to turn 1 here in Clio Cup. Like I've said, 43 cars all vying for position. The slipstream is massive in these cars as well, so the drivers certainly have a lot of time to gain by sticking behind the car in front of them. You may see over the course of the race that drivers will get a monstrous run into turn 1, even more than the Formula Regional cars that we saw earlier on. They were using their push-to-pass system, with my friend Chris McCarthy commentating on it. And I can tell you, from sitting in the commentary box next to him, it was very exciting. So hopefully the Clios can match that. They usually do. There's Yerli Ospinov, the number 13 car. There's a few dents and scrapes down the side of it, actually, after this morning's session. So I'm not quite sure what happened there. I didn't see that earlier on. There's Guillaume Mayo in what I say is very easily the best-looking car on the grid. He won the livery competition last year in Clio Cup, and it looks to me like he should probably win it again. It's wonderful to have fans back this weekend as well. Comparing this weekend to last year's visit by Clio Cup, we have a humongous amount of people here. It's brilliant to see. It's very good. And all the circuits we've been to so far, there is a definite rise in the numbers of the fans and spectators that we have. And obviously the times of COVID are now becoming almost a negative memory, it must be said, but at least a distant memory, and we can finally get the world back to normal. Lights are on, though, on the cars. You can see the circuit still a little bit shimmery there. You know, it's not a hot day today at all. It's been raining most of the weekend. It hasn't really rained all day, so the circuit has been gradually drying out, but it's still going to be slippery in patches. The 15-second board goes in the air and off to the side of the circuit, and all personnel will be shooed away from the grid. and we can get things underway. As you can see, though, there's probably a big old advantage for David Pouchetti and especially Jerzy Spinkovic here, starting on the left-hand side of the grid, which is the inside line initially as the straight becomes not a straight and heads down towards Tamburello. It's great watching the cars out of my window as well. So many of these wonderful little cars make their way through. They're around 200 horsepower, these little Clios, and they make a great noise to go with it as well. They are turbocharged, so they've got a fantastic rasp to them. And if you ever do get the chance to hear these cars in person, I urge you to try and listen to them near or in the pit lane where you can, because on the pit limiter they make a fantastic sound. They really do. There's a bit of a split in the field actually as they've just come past me here. I thought the number 17 car, which is Danielle Pasquale, was the last one to come by, but it seems like we have everybody. Just seen Joya, Alonso and Stefana go past me, who will be the last 3 cars on the grid, so looks like we do have all 43 cars with us for this first race of the weekend. Tomorrow's race is a little bit earlier in the day. We qualify at 10:15 in the morning, and the race will be going on from 4:30 local time. I was actually speaking to Mark Guillot, and he was saying that the race being a little bit later isn't ideal for him because he's got an 8-hour drive at least back into France, and he's working at 8 AM on Monday, bless him. He never stops, that boy. He never stops, as Mark Guillot. And to be honest, he never stops racing Clios. I spoke to him at the start of the season, and he's been telling me that he's been racing Clio since 2004. So he's certainly experienced, he certainly knows it, and that shows in his driving. You know, there's a number of drivers here where they've been doing it for a long time, and you can tell because they know exactly how to treat the car at different points of the race and how to behave in certain situations around other drivers and what might be detrimental to them or what might help them quite a lot. One driver to keep your eye on as well is Mathieu Lanapoudon, starting from 15th position. He's going to be looking to move forward. Same with Thomas Pekka in 19th. Certainly a number of them that will make great progress from slightly lower qualifying positions than you would expect them to be. There they go through Variante Alta, and as you see there, it is really not hot at all. 17 degrees track temperature is very, very low, but again, as you see there, very humid today, very humid indeed. I mean, taking a long walk through the paddock, it's quite easy to get a little bit too hot because of the humidity in the air. It is still very muggy despite being cold. It's very interesting conditions here at Imola. It is a joy to be back, though. A legendary circuit, of course, for many a reason. And it always, always improves year after year. It's my second visit here to the circuit, and I love it. Absolutely love it here at Imola. I love it in the region, you know, in Emilia-Romagna. It's a gorgeous place to be in Italy. There are a number of circuits nearby as well. Not far down the coast, you have Misano, which is another great place to be. The Clios will be there in just over a month's time, and I will be there with them as well, which I'm very grateful for. And further north and to the northwest, essentially, we have Monza, where, again, I'll be with them in October later in the year. Unfortunately, though, I will only be doing 3 more rounds this season with Clio Cup. I'll be doing Misano, as mentioned, and then heading over to the Hungaro Ring a month later at the start of July, and then they will not see me again until October, I'm afraid. So I'm going to miss them all very, very dearly until that point, but enough about that and enough about the sentiment, because it's time to go racing. The cars are now just making their way down the start-finish straight. David Pouchetti has just gone round the little right kink here on the not quite straight at Imola. Now the cars are going all the way to the front end of the grid. I was speaking with Chris McCarthy, who was commentating on the Formula Regional race earlier, and Dino Begnovic, who actually ended up winning the race. And Dino was saying that it's great that they're starting them further down the grid. You know, it's a shorter run for turn 1, so it means that drivers behind you can't get as much slipstream and they can't make as much of a run at you going into that first chicane down at Tamburello. The actual finish line, though, is just before the right kink. As you can see there, the marshal in the sort of raised box on the right-hand side, that is where the finish line is. So the car's just crossing it now, actually. The white and yellow car on the right-hand side there with Oranje dak written on the back of it, which means orange roof in Dutch, I've been told. That's Stefan Polderman. That is where the finish line is, basically. So, Suddenly a calm falls over the circuit, but trust me, this is Clio Cup and that is not going to last long. Cannot wait to get this underway. We're looking for the green flag at the back. And there it is. And the lights are coming on. Round 5 of the 2022 Clio Cup is underway. And everybody's very hesitant off the line. A lot of wheel spin. Fantastic start for Guillaume Mayo and Lorenzo Nicoli a bit further back. And it looks to me like Nicolas Milan has got the better of Jerzy Spinkovic for third place as well. That's important because he wants to help Guillaume and Pouget. Well, he doesn't want to help Pouget. He wants to help Guillaume against Pouget. The contact there. Oh, massive hit. That's Mazzetti. And into him has gone Pouchetti as well. And they've taken out Nico Abea with them as well. I think there was another car involved. Might have been Mathieu Lanapoudon. And there's another car off. There's another car off on the exit of Tambirello. You could hear the tyres screeching there, but that was a humongous hit for William Mazzetti. I hope he's okay. You can see Chen Han Lin there just limping around at the back. There's 2 cars off on the exit of Tambirello, just trying to see who that is. I think one of them's Andrea Argenti, the other one is Alex Louth. And there is Nico Abea, probably wondering what the heck happened there. Making his way through, and oh, there's a car off on the side of the road there. Is that Yusup Pantia? No, that's Thomas Pekka. Well, I said he'd be making his way through the order. There's a bit of damage on Urali Ospinov's car as well. He's got a wing mirror folded in. I'd be surprised if we didn't get a safety car for that one, because there's cars off in the gravel down at one of the scariest places on the circuit down at Tambirello. But that was a big old hit. I was focusing on the drivers at the front, and suddenly into shot completely sideways came Mazzetti, and look at that. Big send there by Marc Guillot, who seems to have dropped right down the order as well. So not quite sure what happened to Guillot, because he was the lead car going into the first corner. Whoa, way off the road there as well. Goes, I think, Cutini, which I believe was the 73 machine. And yeah, the safety car is out. Understandably, because there was a big old mess down at turn 1. Big old mess. 3 cars involved there, 2 cars involved on the exit of Tambirello. And well, I told you, it's not going to take long for this to get exciting. And now I believe there is Andrea Argenti, and well, he got very annoyed after Red Bull Ring last year when he was involved in an incident there that was not his fault. And I imagine he is rather annoyed once again. Interesting to see that Guillot has dropped down, though. I'm sure we'll probably get a replay and try and pick apart whatever happened there, because there were cars absolutely everywhere going into that first chicane. But it's not a straight run down to Tambirello, and that's one of the most important things. You know, drivers are trying to still go round a long corner. Granted, it's a very shallow corner. So let's have a look just behind. Whoa, up on 2 wheels there into the side of Ospinov goes Mazzetti. He then smacks into the back of, sorry, I believe actually it was Pouchetti that went up on 2 wheels. He then hit Mazzetti. Looks like Argenti has bounced off the side of someone else's car, and then, oh, he gets clattered into, at least, by Alex Louth. I think Mathieu Lanapoudon was involved. No, he's not actually, because he's up there. Guillot goes off at the Villeneuve chicane. Wow. It was all go down there, wasn't it? Now, I was picking apart what happened in the background there, so I didn't quite see if Pouget and Guillot had contact. I didn't notice any damage on Guillot's car earlier, so hopefully it wasn't the case. But there you see the recovery operation begins as they try and drag Nico Abea's car out of the gravel trap. They're incredibly deep gravel traps here at Imola as well, I must say. I took a track walk down there last season, and I did wonder, how do these gravel traps stop cars that are travelling at the speeds they are when they get here? So I decided to put my foot in the gravel, and guess what? I came back out and I didn't have my shoe on. It's so easy to lose your foot in there. It's like quicksand down there. Alex Louth's car on the left-hand side of your shot there, really not looking in a good way. It looks like it needs a rest, and it's just leaning against the wall. But that was a big old hit. Andrea Argenti, like I said, just looked like he bounced off the edge of the car on the outside of him. And these Clios, being front-wheel drive, they can spit the rear end out very quickly, and then suddenly the grip just comes back to the front end and it throws the car in the opposite direction. And that's pretty much what it happened, or what happened to it there. So, just trying to think now how to pick that apart, but it's a shame to see Pouget and Guillot come to blows there, potentially anyway. I think maybe Marc just tried to carry a bit too much speed around the outside. I'll hopefully be able to have a word with them later on and find out for you all, but the order at the moment is as such. David Pouget leads from Nicolas Milan, then it's Jerzy Spinkovic, Gabriel Torelli, and Anthony Girardo is still in 5th place. So Torelli's gained 2 places at the start. Lorenzo Nicoli, he started 11th and is up to 6th. He's having a fantastic start to this race. Guillaume Mayo is 7th. Felice Gelmini is 8th after starting 10th. Giacomo Trebbi has dropped down to 9th position, and then Mathieu Lanapoudon is up into 10th. He started 15th on the grid, so a good start from him. It's not been a good start for Cosimo Papi. He started 11th, well, he didn't start 11th, sorry. Started 8th, and now he's down to 11th. Gio down in 12th position. He will not be very, very pleased with that one. You can see the furious weaving goes on to get the temperature into those front tyres. It's even more important today as well, of course, because the conditions are very, very cool out there on the circuit. And apparently, an incident during the formation lap will be investigated after the race, which is car 43, and that is Damiano Pouchetti of PMA. So not a clue what's happened there with him, but hopefully nothing too untoward. I'm not sure if that then sort of triggered something that happened into turn 1, whether the car was damaged or he's had a knock with somebody. And then when he's hit the brakes, that's what's caused the problem and into the side of Yareli Ospinov. And I was saying before the start of the race, Ospinov's car wasn't exactly in factory new condition, was it, when we saw it on the grid? Had a couple of dents and scrapes down the side. But we will have at least another lap here behind the pace car as they come out of Rivazza. You can see all the different sort of methods of weaving here. That sounds really daft to say at first, but if you look at some of them, they take a really long, wide weave and just pick that left or right rear wheel off the ground. Other drivers flick the car left and right very, very quickly, and it looks like they're almost going to roll the car over because they throw it around that much. And some other drivers just brake and accelerate and brake and accelerate and try and do it in a straight line. They try and heat the tyre without wearing it too much by putting a bit of temperature through it via the brakes. You can see Ospinov's car there, as he turns right and left, he's just gone out of shot. He actually has a bit of smoke coming from the left-hand side there where he got hit. Now those cars have been cleared away very, very quickly, I think. Oh no, they're still on the left-hand side there, actually. They were hidden behind the timing tower. I was going to say, that was a fantastic effort to get those cars out of the way. Cars 47 and 102, I believe. 102 is Argenti. Car 47 is Alex Louth. Now apparently that incident will be looked at after the race, but I'm getting it coming through on lap 3 here. Now it clearly wasn't lap 3 because, well, we're on lap 3 now. There is the 118 machine a little bit further down the order. That is one of the gorgeous Team Oregon or Oregon team cars. That is Andrea Cordini. That pink, yellow and green is a legendary colour combo across a lot of European motorsport. I believe they race in Lamborghini Super Trofeo as well, or GT Open. They have at least one of their Lamborghinis in one of the many GT series that there are across Europe. They used to race in the Renault Megans as well, if I'm sure you'll all remember. That's where that livery really became synonymous with Renault as a brand, I'd say. I think I can see Alex Louth now just making his way back into the pit lane. There's a couple of drivers at least made their way back now, obviously very frustrated after having their race ended so quickly. Wasn't really anything Argenti or Louth could do in that situation there. Alex was on the outside of the circuit all the way over to the right hand side, and Argenti's car just came straight back over and gave it a good old whack in the front. Now it's a real shame, of course, to have any sort of delay to the race or any stoppage for a safety car, but we all know that safety comes first, and it's best to neutralise the race so that marshals and personnel can recover an incident and get it all cleaned up as soon as possible. They come now back down towards Rivazza, and it looks like we're going to get another lap behind the safety car here. We still have the boards and the flags out in front of me in the commentary box. Commentary box at Imola is basically a couple of metres down the road from the start-finish line on the left, or their left anyway, where the very famous bridge is with all of the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo Dino Ferrari branding on. We are pretty much in line with that, minus a couple of metres. So we get a good old view of the start-finish straight here as they come powering down past us. And then they disappear off into the beautiful scenery before they get down to Tamburello. Our glorious Megane RS safety car leads the way as well. I believe it's actually the Megane Trophy as well. Fantastic road cars, I must say. Very, very wild machines, the Megane. And all the cars with their DRLs, daytime running lights on, as, oh, someone that's just gone past me here is the number 223 car of Sandro Subek. And, well, I say his lights are on, but you can see it wiggling there, actually. Look, the left rear brake light is hanging out of that car by the wires that it's connected by. Barely anything left on that little yellow car at the rear. It's certainly taken a whack at some point. Now, I wonder if we could get a potential replay of the incident involving Argenti and Louth, because there was another car, I think, that he just caught in that incident, and somebody went very close to going off on the grass again, and it could have been a much bigger incident. Luckily, they all got away with it behind them, and it was only the two cars involved. You saw there a bit of smoke from Yereli Ospinov. Apparently the fastest lap of the race has gone to Curioni at the moment. The 333 car, Eduardo Curioni, which is part of the press league by Oregon team. Renault hosts a press league within the championship, where a number of drivers take over the car for certain weekends. And he's done a 3-minute 14.4 with an average of less than 60 miles an hour. So it's safe to say that that is going to get beaten over the rest of the race. Safety car is in this lap, so we will get back underway once again, and I look forward to seeing how Nicola Milan is going to attack this restart. Spinkovic still has two cars between himself and his next Challengers Cup rival, which is Lorenzo Nicoli. Then he's got Guillaume Mayo right behind him. But the two drivers between them are Gabriele Torelli and Anthony Girardo, and as fast as Lorenzo Nicoli is, I don't think he's going to find it easy to get past Girardo and Torelli. His countryman, especially in fourth position, is an absolute star, to be honest. He won a wonderful race at the Hungaroring last year in changing conditions, in a big indecisive field whether to go with wets or go with slicks, and Torelli took the risk, and it was an incredible climax to the race. If you've not seen that one before, I do urge you to go back and watch it from last season. It was brilliant. Anyway, regardless of watching races from last season, it's time to watch the fifth race of this season. Pouget does a bit of weaving, gets on the power, and he is gone. Nicola Milan does not get a good restart there. He definitely got caught napping, and look, just before the line, is Girardo going to go past Torelli? I'm not sure if he's going to beat him before the line. He's definitely not. He moved over to the left there just to make sure he didn't, but it's Pouget, Milan, Spinkovic, Girardo and Torelli side by side with Nicoli right behind them. That's Girardo in the dark blue car on their left-hand side. On the inside of Torelli, Nicoli puts his nose down the inside as well. Looks like he's got away with it. Bit of door banging as they go through Tamburello, and that has left Torelli very much under attack. They've got Mayo and Gelmini just behind them. But a fantastic restart by Pouget. Really caught Milan napping there. He has a bit of a wiggle on the way into the Villeneuve chicane, though. Milan is very much under attack from Spinkovic as well, isn't he? There's certain pressure coming there from the Polish driver. He's leading the Challengers Cup in this race, though, so he doesn't need to take any risks. There's a big send down the inside by Gelmini on Guillaume Mayo. Just behind them is Giacomo Trebi, and then Mathieu Lanapoudon inside the top 10. Up the hill we go, though, towards Piratella, the one corner on this circuit that I never remember the name of. Gelmini's still on the inside of Mayo. He gets that done, does he just? Separated by only the vinyl that's wrapped around the back of the car. But Mayo says, not on your life, sunshine. Looks back down the inside, but no, there's Guillaume going back past his teammate, Mathieu Lanapoudon. Guillaume trying to make as much progress as he can now to get back to the front. The man that qualified second at the start. And Girardo's restart is under investigation. And that will obviously be for the fact that he was alongside Torelli and maybe ahead of him by the start. Well, Torelli's ahead of himself there as he goes into Variante Alta, goes straight on over the grass. That's going to ruin his run down the hill. Now Lorenzo Nicoli's going to have a go. Mark Guillaume is also having a go at Mayo. as they go towards Rivazza again. Milan looks down the inside of Pouget. Spinkovic looks down the inside of Milan. Torelli looks down the inside of, well, nobody. With Nicoli right behind him, though, it looked like he had to sort of pretend to attack nothing to try and defend. There is the rest of the train making its way through. Looks like Sandro Subek has got rid of that rear brake light once and for all. See them bobbling through, and you can see them bobbling off as well. Is that Polderman, the 21 car? It is. He comes back on, nearly collects the number 36 machine there, or is 38, sorry, of Alessio Alcidi. Fastest lap by Gerardo in 4th place, and look at this, straight off the back of it, he's going down the inside of Jerzy Spinkovic, bit of contact as they go through Tamburello. Spinkovic bouncing around all over the curbs, manages to stay in front. Nicoli, big sideways moment, the car's completely around, it's a big 360. Somehow, well, I was going to say he saves it, but with all of the lock on, he throws it into the gravel, and is that going to get stuck? Oh, I think it is, or is he actually? He's still moving, just moving. You can see him in the background. Oh, he's got it out. Fantastic job by Lorenzo Nicoli. And look at this by Gerardo, all over the back of Spinkovic. Gives him a tag, sends him a little bit wide at Tosa, and then sends him even wider at Tosa. Really chucks him off the road. Very uncalled for, you could say, by Anthony Gerardo, but he's known for getting his elbows out. And that has settled that. You've just got to hope now that it hasn't damaged Spinkovic's car, because he needs to try and stay ahead in this Challengers Cup, and there's, well, something wrong with the car by the look of it. It goes very sideways through Piratella. I hope it hasn't damaged the back of the Unique Racing Clio, because that would be an absolute disaster. It was a battle that he didn't need to be in. There's Thomas Pekka looking down the inside of the 107 of Ricciarini. Wow, that was close to Rocco Minerali. How they didn't make contact there, I do not know, but these guys are the racing drivers, and I am not. Now here is that initial moment. Down the inside goes Gerardo, bit of a tap. Spinkovic over the curves, more contact. And then you'll see just behind, oh, Nicoli tries to just get a cutback on Torelli, overdoes it, clips the gravel, car goes around, but he's still full lock to the right. So when he gets back on the power and the car gets that grip, it throws itself off the road, but fantastic recovery to keep it on the black stuff. Well, or at least get it back on the black stuff. Gio in the background is becoming a train driver with all these cars piling in behind him, and he's trying to lead them away. Leading the whole field, though, is David Pouget, Nicolas Milan second, Anthony Gerardo third, Spinkovic fourth, still leading the Challengers Cup ahead of Torelli, Gelmini, and then Mark Gio up to seventh. Guillaume Mayo is the next challenger in the train, with Trebi just behind him in ninth. There is the 2-2-3 of Sandro Subek. He's moved up to 13th position. Torelli is dropping down the order big time. Torelli is, I believe, in the pits, actually. Where has Torelli gone? Oh, no. I believe he had a problem here last year, actually, at Imola. I think he had engine troubles in the second race, but Torelli's dropping down the order, but he's actually there. You can see him on the road. I think he's just got an issue with the transponder. Same with 333, actually. The 333 car is having a transponder issue, it seems. That's been picked up by race control. Eduardo Curioni. But action-packed racing as ever. We've still got over 7 minutes to go as well. And then another lap here at Imola. There is Gelmini side by side with Torelli. Two of the most exciting Italian drivers you will see. Both absolutely brilliant to watch. Gelmini chucks it over the curb at Piratella, runs a little bit wide. And now Torelli's on his left-hand side, but you'd imagine that Gelmini's got this. Yes, he does. It's all about bravery into Acqua Minerale, but having the inside line certainly helps, it's safe to say. Careful of track limits on the exit, boys, up over the hill towards Variante Alta. Gio getting away from Mayo there, but you could see Trebi and Lana Boudin having a fantastic battle just behind. Nicolas Milan and Anthony Gerardo both just sort of following on at the moment from Pouget. Big hop and a skip and a jump there by Torelli over the curbs as well. I expect Nicolas Milan, he's not going to attack too soon here on Pouget. He's great at being reserved and holding back in these battles, but lockups like that from David Pouget will certainly fill Nicolas with confidence. What will also fill him with confidence is he's got probably the fastest driver on the grid right now, Anthony Gerardo, right behind him. Anthony was unbelievable at Jarama. He had a very action-packed season last year, that's the nice way of putting it. Certainly did himself out of a lot of results with contact and crashes. But this year, he's a different man. He's absolutely rapid, and he's got the consistency to go with it. Nicolas Milan has got the inside curb to go with it. And down the inside of Pouchetti he goes. You can bet Gerardo's going to go for it as well. Of course he is. Throws it into Tamburello, and all of a sudden Pouchetti finds himself third, and Milan finds himself in the race lead with a rear tail gunner of a teammate behind him. But is he going to play tail gunner? That's the question now. Gerardo all over the back of him. They're going to want to break away. Spinkovic tries to get a move done on Pouchetti. Round the outside into the Villeneuve chicane. That's going to give him the inside for the second part. Beautiful stuff by Jerzy Spinkovic. And up into third place. And all of a sudden, Pouchetti goes from the race lead to almost a second, maybe 2 seconds down from Milan. Unbelievable. Guillaume, as mentioned, getting away from Mayo. And now Gelmini's in this battle as well, actually, for third position. Trying to get an overall podium. He's racing in Clio Cup Italy this season, but I've been told that he's not actually... Oh, Frank Horn and Yerely Ospinov. Now, while they share a similar livery, one of them is a Milan competition car that's been bought from GPA Racing, and the other is a GPA Racing car. I was told just then by race control the race will finish at 7:59 p.m. I believe there is a sort of noise curfew here at Imola. Let's have a look what's happened. So Frank Horn on the inside of the circuit. Oh, the car gets away from it under braking, and there's another car involved there that takes out Yerely Ospinov. Who's that in the middle? Oh, that's a big old hit. That's René Steenmetz, and whoa, nearly joining them as well. Where's the white and black car just behind? I think that was Mattia Lancialotti. That's a big old mess, and I think that will be the end of the race, if I'm honest with you. And yeah, the safety car is out on track, so understandable. And it is now 7:56 p.m. So the race is due to stop maybe a lap early. Lorenzo Nicoli in the pit lane now, with that very distinct helmet. And there is your field, Nicola Milan, sorry. Just ahead of Anthony Gerardo, Jerzy Spinkovic, David Pouchetti, Felice Gelmini, Gabriel Torelli, Marc Guillaume, Guillaume Mayo, Mathieu Lanapoudon, and Giacomo Trebi, who's having a good race actually in the 116 car. He did start ahead of that. He started 7th on the grid, but through all the mayhem and all of the argy-bargy, he's actually survived this one very well, and he's got a clean car to go with it. In the gentleman drivers category, it's actually been a bit of a nightmare race for René Steenmetz. He started this race in 18th position. He's now 28th as a result of that incident. And leading the gentleman drivers right now is Vittorio Zadotti in the 27 car. He's in 20th place, and he started 32nd. What a fantastic drive it's been by Vittorio. Stefan Polderman, René Steenmetz's teammate, is second in the gentleman drivers in 21st overall, and then it's Cordini in third currently. But as much as I want to be an optimist about this race, I think that it is pretty much done now, because we'll have the safety car for at least another lap, which will be more than 2.5 minutes, which will be, well, that will take us later than 7:59 p.m. So I expect the safety car would probably come in this lap and it'll be declared a result. And that would be Nicola Milan's first race win of the season, which sounds crazy to say considering that we're already at round 5. Nicola is usually very quick out the gates, but he knows when to be reserved in these championship situations, like I say. But it's a real shame that we've had to have the safety car out, but it's just necessary in these situations. But you could see very quickly there how easy it is for the car to break away under braking. The rear end of these cars is very much along for the ride when these guys are pushing the limits. And you can see Frank Horn's car just started to just eke over to the right-hand side. You know, even though the car was going left, it was just leaning right, and it just tapped the back of Steenmetz into Yerely Ospinov. Now I wonder if they're going to make the field do an extra lap here. Whether they're just going to make sure they cross the line, throw the checkered flag out, and then call it a day. It is now 7:59 p.m, so regardless of what happens, the race will end. We will not get our 1 minute extra, and we will not get our extra lap. So I think it's quite a safe moment to say that Nicola Milan takes his first win of the season. Anthony Gerardo will take his third podium from 3 races, and Jerzy Spinkovic will take his first overall podium of the season and a Challengers Cup victory as well. Fantastic start to the weekend by Jerzy. He's been improving a lot since a fantastic debut season, it must be said. He was right up there in the Challengers Cup in 2021. I'm keeping my eye out for the checkered flag here, but I do not see it. There's still a yellow flag being waved on the start-finish line. And the field continues. It's now 8 PM local time. And I can tell you, it looks like it's closer to daylight on the screen compared to how it is here in person, actually. It's getting quite dark here at Imola. The light's really shining off the surface, shows you how slippery it can actually be as well. It looks like ice, doesn't it? There is the remains of Yerely Ospanov's car being very slowly dragged away in the background. And the race has been red flagged. The red flag has been brought out, as it is now too late to continue racing. So even on countback, Nicolas Milan takes the race win in unfortunate circumstances, really, with what happened. Gerardo finishes second, Spinkovic an overall podium, and I imagine a very disgruntled David Pouchetti will feel rather hard done by there after leading until that very, very final moment and being relegated after a series of manoeuvres all the way down into 4th. Gelmini starts his campaign with 5th place with Torelli, Guillot, Mayo and Lanapoudon, with Giacomo Trevi rounding out E10. Zadotti will take his first win of the season in the Gentleman Drivers' Cup as well. Great drive, like I said, 32nd up to 20th place ahead of Stefan Polderman and the number 118 machine of Andrea Cordini for Oregon team. I can tell you now, though, that is going to be the first of many this season for Nicolas Milan. Now, the number of how many championships he's won tends to vary on who you ask, depending on what championship he has raced in, but I'm pretty confident it's more than 12 Clio Cup championships for Nicolas Milan. He is an absolute stalwart of the format, and I'm sure will continue to be for a very, very long time. We hope you've enjoyed the racing, though. We'll get the reaction from the drivers in just a moment when they make their way into the pit lane. And we'll see what they made of that one. And of course, we'll get to see the moment that they all step out of the car. You can see the safety car driver and passenger there clearly indicating that we are making our way into the pit. I don't think you could make it much clearer than that. Indicator on, arms out of the window, and Nicolas Milan will be led to his adoring fans and team, of course. Now, don't forget, we do have another race tomorrow, so if you did enjoy the action, we are qualifying at 10:15 tomorrow. That will not be broadcast, though, but the race will be, and that is 4:30 in the afternoon local time. There is Nicolas Milan in the gorgeous Castrol livery from Milan Competition, and apparently the fuel for race 1 is okay according to the windscreen, and he will undo the belts and get out. Oh wow, Anthony Gerardo, a very happy man right now after a 1-2. I didn't think he'd be that happy with second place, Anthony, because he had the pace to potentially win that race. Nicolas steps out though after another job well done. Takes nice care not to bang the door on Spinkovic's car, gives us a quick wave and a roll of the eyes as if to say, well, that was an interesting one. Anthony will congratulate him. He's over the moon, is Anthony Gerardo. It's a great reaction. You love to see it. One of his team members there just sort of wondering what happened in that race. But either way, it's a win to go on to the tally of Nicolas Milan's very, very many wins in his career. It's certainly not somewhere where he's unfamiliar with his being on the top step. Here's a quick look back at a few moments of the race then. Spinkovic doing a great job in winning the Challengers Cup. Gerardo finishing in second position. And of course your overall win going the way of multiple champion Nicolas Milan, starting his campaign very, very well with a win in the his first win in the 5th race of the season. He's wearing that number 1 with pride this season as well, after running the number 50 the year before. And there again is Anthony Girardot. And he will certainly be a happy man for this evening. That's a good day's work done. It's great to see. Jerzy Spinkovic down there with them as well, after a lot of hard work went into that race. He was fighting with the big boys up there. I mean, he's a tall guy himself, to be fair, Jerzy Spinkovic, so he's got no problem with it. Girardot gives him a quick handshake and a well done. And we'll have a quick look here at the start. Pouchetti got a great launch off the line. Guillaume went with him and tried to take the fight all the way down into turn 1. There is the monumental accident down at turn 1. And then Argenti off the road into Louth, and another car almost involved in that as well. Guillaume off the road as well after a big bit of argy-bargy, or at least a scary moment, down into the Villeneuve chicane. Girardot and Sorelli getting very friendly indeed. And then the field all trying to sort itself out, while Marc Guillaume made progress back through the order. Now, I've just been told, and it's just come through from race control, as we see a big moment for Spinkovic, and then, of course, for Lorenzo Nicoli, who does a wonderful drifting demonstration of all the angles of his Clio. I've just been told that Anthony Girardot has had 25 seconds added onto his race time, so Anthony will finish down in 29th place for overtaking under safety car because of that restart. And I said at the time it was going to get looked at, and it certainly has done. So that means that David Pouchetti gets a podium and Jerzy Spinkovic gets promoted to 2nd place. There is the incident that ultimately ended the race. Yereli Osmanov, René Steenmetz and Frank Horn getting involved in that one. And then out came the red flags. And I need to completely adjust my tally of how many podiums people have got this season, because suddenly Girardot's got 1 less, Pouchetti has got 1 more. And there is said podium here at Imola. And we'll have our drivers up there in just a moment's time. And it's going to be a bit of a shuffle compared to what we were expecting. We would have been thinking Jerzy Spinkovic would be the first man up there right now, but no, that is not going to be the case. A big change to the race there, though. Girardot will not be happy. That ruins his 3 out of 3 podium streak from what is a phenomenal start to the season. But again, it just gives him more to fight for tomorrow. You can imagine, and trust me, if you saw what Girardot was like in that race there, imagine what he's going to be like, all fired up after receiving a penalty like that right at the end. So in this constant ongoing battle year after year between GPA Racing and Milan Competition, it's going to be GPA Racing and Milan Competition with 1 car each on the podium yet again here. You can hear there the wonderful Italian announcer going through proceedings before announcing our 3 podium finishes. We hope, of course, the conditions are, well, relatively similar tomorrow, because they are very good racing conditions indeed. It means that the tyres can last a long time into the race, and we see the drivers at their ultimate pace pretty much all of the way through. And it means that we do not have any issues with rain either. It's that perfect middle ground. And we do have David Pouchetti, who will be making his way to the podium in a moment, I believe. His name has been called out, but we do not see him up there on the podium. Maybe he's not expecting to be up there, to be honest. And it doesn't look like we will be getting the drivers out, I don't think. So I think we're going to wrap things up, but we'll have a look. We'll have a look, though. Do bear with us, everybody. Now, if I spoke Italian, I'd be able to tell you what the Italian announcer is telling you as well, but unfortunately I don't. I'm terrible with languages, and I apologise to everybody that I see that I can't speak their language, I must admit. But still, it's been a fantastic day here at Imola. It's been great racing all afternoon. Me and my good friend Chris McCarthy, who commentates on Formula Regional, have been taking in all the sights and sounds and the wonderful smells of these race cars in this incredible circuit. And it's certainly been good to round out the day with a very exciting and energetic Clio Cup race. There are the drivers, effectively backstage. Jerzy Spinkovic on the left-hand side, his first podium overall in Clio Cup, I believe. Definitely his first one this season.
I think it's too late. Oh,
yeah. And now I speak English, so I can tell you that. But yeah, they think David Pouchetti is basically late to the party here.
But you go fast, huh?
But Nicolas Milan, of course, very impressed by Spinkovic's speed in that race. And like I say, he has been a driver that's been continuously improving since he joined the championship last year. And his father, Maciek, as well, is very enthusiastic about his progress and his constant development. Not to mention that they're just great guys as well. And we are just waiting for David Pouchetti. It's not often that David Pouchetti is slow, but he's a little bit late here, isn't he? There you go, there he is. Obviously wasn't expected to be on the podium, but you know, you would have thought that Gerardo would be up there. But that does mean that we can get this podium underway. So apologies for thinking we were going to wrap it up there. And there you go, he's called out to the podium. There is Tarek Ait Said as well on the right-hand side, handing the trophy over. Beautiful trophies as ever this season. And there you go. David Pouchetti receives a handshake and the trophy. And I imagine still very frustrated after losing the lead right near the end. There is Jerzy Spinkovic on the left-hand side, second place overall. Fantastic result for the Polish driver. Him and the team will be absolutely delighted with that one at Unique Racing. And to share the podium with the likes of David Pouchetti and Nicolas Milan as well, I imagine, is quite the honour, especially in Clio racing. But your race winner for today, everybody, is Nicolas Milan. I think everybody stopped counting quite a while ago at how many races Nicolas had won, and I wouldn't be surprised to find out if it was in triple digits by now. Another trophy for what I imagine is not just a cabinet, but probably an entire garage of trophies, and of course a representative from Milan competition on the left-hand side as well. All we have time for here today, though, everybody, in Clio Cup. So thank you very much for joining us. My name is Chaz Draycott, and I will see you again tomorrow at roughly 4:30 local time. Enjoy your evening. Together, please, on the same step of the podium, the main one, showing the trophies for the beaches.